Battle through the firmament. Great world. Chapter 518. The aura of a tiger. You're courting death. Seeing Xiaoyan charging towards him, blue veins popped out on Hong Xing's forehead as he let out a deep roar. Both of his palms instantly unleashed thousands of inches of force. Like a tornado, it gathered together and swept towards Xiaoyan. Swoosh! Xiaoyan's expression was calm. His body moved like a star, and before the tornado could be unleashed, he had already appeared behind Hong Xing like a ghost. Bang! A palm that was as fast as lightning was directly thrown out, sending a monarch emperor, who had yet to react, flying. The strength was so great that it caused the monarch emperor to spit out a mouthful of fresh blood and faint. The origin key armor that surrounded his body appeared to be useless as it was scattered by Xiaoyan's palm. So fast, Su Jiang, who had been observing Xiaoyan, suddenly shrunk his pupils until they were the size of pinholes. This kind of speed caused him to feel ashamed. It was difficult to imagine that a monarch emperor would actually possess this kind of speed. This guy has the strength to fight an emperor cultivator warrior. Wu Shaoqi covered her lips, her beautiful eyes filled with shock. After a while, she came back to her senses and looked at the monarch emperor flying in the sky. A wave of heroic spirit immediately surged out from the depths of her heart. She was the inheritor of the ancient fire emperor. Now that she had mastered the flame mantra, she had also comprehended many of the supreme techniques. Even if she couldn't compare with Xiaoyan, she still had to deal with these monarch emperor warriors. Hong long, hong, green flames gathered under her feet and turned into a fiery cloud. Wu Shaoqi's body was as light as a swallow as she rushed towards the place where the enemies were the most concentrated. Under the fierce attacks of nearly 10 monarch emperor experts, the elders of Yunlo Academy were fighting and retreating. They were only left with the strength to resist. After forcing back a monarch emperor with a single palm strike, Xiaoyan's cold eyes swept across the scene. Except for Hong Xing, who was standing in front of him, the remaining 5 emperor cultivator warriors didn't attack because they were afraid of Su Jiang and Elder Xiao. In this way, the most threatening one on the scene was the one who hadn't attacked yet, Black Nether Emperor. Xiaoyan used his speed to easily dodge an attack. Hong Xing furiously shouted. He suddenly turned around, and numerous origin kiss burst out from the top of his skull. They were like numerous origin chains, making loud noises in the air. They stirred the origin kiss in the world, and in an instant. Die. The key that each giant dragon emitted was no weaker than a mid-grade monarch arts. This was a secret technique that belonged solely to an emperor cultivator warrior. It could stimulate the origin chains in one's body to be released, and it was stronger than any spirit weapon. It could be said that this was the spirit weapon that he was most comfortable with. Xiaoyan showed no signs of fear. He strode forward and grabbed the chain that was rushing towards him. The chain was filled with a huge amount of energy, and it didn't seem to cause any harm to him. The fierce force that could make an ordinary emperor cultivator retreat couldn't be used in front of him. Before I use my full strength, I can fight 300 emperor cultivator origin chains with my bare hands. Xiao Yi mumbled to himself, his eyes filled with shock. Compared to the monarch emperor and the previous realms, every emperor cultivator warrior's cultivation level was at the same level. The origin chains in his body were harder to condense, but once formed, the origin key on it was 100 times more powerful than before. To put it in an exaggerated way, if the current Hong Xing were to risk his life, he was strong enough to fight 300 monarch emperor warriors head-on. However, he was suppressed by Xiaoyan. This naturally shocked countless people present. Xiaoyan clenched his 10 fingers tightly, holding onto the 3 origin chains. Both of his arms suddenly exerted force, and he actually threw Hong Xing out explosively. The enormous force caused Hong Xing to fly backwards, and he fiercely smashed onto a huge mountain in the surroundings of the academy. In an instant, rocks flew everywhere, and the entire huge mountain trembled slightly. 7 Monarch Emperor. The moment Xiaoyan attacked, Su Jiang suddenly sensed something. This guy had only used all of his strength at the moment he attacked, but he had never thought that he had already reached such a level. Humph! Black Nether Emperor sneered. 7 Monic Emperor. Although this strength was much stronger than during the 4 academies competition, it was still too weak. However, it couldn't be underestimated. If this bastard was allowed to grow, he would surely become stronger. Now, it was time to solve this problem. Wah! I'm so angry. On a distant mountain peak, Hong Xing soared into the sky. Both of his eyes were red as he stared at Shaoyan. He was an emperor cultivator, and he was considered a giant even in the capital of chaos. Today, he was in such a sorry state at the hands of a Monic Emperor warrior. Huff. In the depths of Hong Xing's eyes, a crazy red color gradually spread out. The ki in his body had also changed drastically, and it was filled with a violent force. Chi. Hong Xing's eyes were scarlet red. He flashed a few times and appeared beside Shaoyan. He was like an inhumane killing machine. His expression was ice cold as he launched a storm-like attack at Shaoyan. Every attack was filled with the aura of death, causing one's scalp to feel numb. Shaoyan dodged, but he also sensed that Hong Xing was unusual. Not only that, the attack he launched on the latter's body was like a stone sinking into the ocean. The other party did not dodge at all. All of them received the attack without any reaction. Swoosh! Su Jiang, who had been maintaining the grand formation, suddenly stopped. The origin ki on his body surged, and he jumped out from the encirclement of Yu Mei and the other 2 Emperor Cultivator warriors. He then rushed towards the profound dark dragon in the air. Only by getting rid of this guy as soon as possible could Grandma Bai focus on dealing with Black Nether Emperor. Don't interfere, Black Nether Emperor shouted coldly. He flashed like a black shadow, and with a push of his hand, a powerful airflow gushed out and sent Su Jiang flying. Heavenly Monic Fire Burning Body. Sensing the sudden change in the scene, Shaoyan no longer hid his strength. All the crimson gold flame on his body surged, and in an instant, his aura skyrocketed. In just a moment, he had broken through the barrier between the Monic Emperor and Emperor Cultivator. A force that could control everything suddenly emerged, and the entire world seemed to have become clear. Before this, Shaoyan had never reached the Emperor Cultivator when he used the Heavenly Monic Fire Burning Body. This time, he had finally broken through this barrier. Xiao, go and help Elder Xiao. I'll go too. A red light rushed out of Shaoyan's body and instantly penetrated a Monic Emperor's body. After that, it landed on the ground and turned into a cute little boy. The little boy wore a black shirt, and his big black eyes blinked, revealing a little slyness. This is. Xiao Yi's facial expression changed slightly. He looked at the little boy in the distance. Although the little boy looked young, the ki that was emitted from his body indicated his. Shaoyan's combat intent was high, and his black hair was fluttering in the wind. His eyes were like stars, and they were emitting an invincible light. He clenched his fists tightly, and his body was surrounded by flames. He was like a war god in fire, facing the crazy Hong Xing. He didn't lose the upper hand, and he punched out with every punch. It was enough to shake the space, creating endless rumbles. For a time, the surrounding several meters became a restricted area. Ordinary Monic Emperor warriors wouldn't be able to step into it. Su Jiang steadied his body and looked at Black Nether Emperor who was standing far away from him. His eyes were cold, and his lips moved slightly. In an instant, the ground of the entire square. It was as if there were countless invisible kiss surging out from his body. In an instant, a powerful combat intent burst out from his upper body. Vaguely, he was not below the Monic Cultivator. This should be the strongest formation in Yunlo Academy. Black Nether Emperor remained unmoved. Even though Su Jiang had the strength of a Monic Cultivator, it wouldn't affect his plan at all. This kid is extraordinary. Let's kill him first. Gu Man's eyes turned red. He took out the Azure Desolate Axe once again. The axe glowed with a bright light, and the image of a mountain-like barbaric bull gradually solidified. This is good stuff. It's mine now. Suddenly, a cold voice rang out. In the next moment, The thunder was furious. Gu Man flew backwards as if he had suffered a heavy blow. The azure desolate axe in his hand actually flew out and steadily landed in the hands of a young man in the distance. This axe is still not enough. Xiao Tianye played with the green desolate axe in his hand and frowned. He then looked down and said with a smile, "It's so lively. It seems like I have come at the right time." After saying that, he looked at Xiaoyan coldly. Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.